Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. They say it's one of the most beneficial things to make you feel better, vibrant, get clarity, move your life forward. It's been going on for literally centuries. It's so easy. You essentially do nothing. In a lot of ways, you do nothing. I'm talking about meditation. We've heard the word. What exactly is it? Why is it so beneficial? This is part of what they offer at a wonderful place in Maryland. Salt Sanctuary is the place, and it's not just about the salt room. There's a lot of other metaphysical and healing things that go on there, and La Stone is the woman behind it. She's with us today. How you doing?
Hey, Steve. I'm great. How are you today? You know why I'm great?
Why are you great?
Because I meditated this morning.
We're going to talk about that. I just got to download. I don't know if you ever, the song goes so far back, but la, 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 la means I love you. That was, I think, the Delphonics from like the 60s.
Yes.
I see the la there in your name. Do you meditate when you first wake up?
You see the la and I feel the love. So thank you for that, Steve. And I can hear that song. And yes, I like to meditate when I first wake up because that's the clearest slate that I have. And I see it as rolling out the red carpet to my day. So once I've taken that time, put that stake in the ground, I feel like I'm ahead of the day instead of like breathing to catch up already.
The reason I even said that was I've tried it. I need to be more intentional to do it more often. Instead of waking up when I need to wake up a few minutes earlier so that I can just lay in bed and think. And there's been some times where I've fallen asleep, which I understand is not a bad thing when you're meditating, but I've gotten that clarity. I've just felt better when you just take a moment just to, well, let's go into it. How do you meditate? There's a lot of different ways, but what do you do?
There's so much there to unpack. There's one of my favorite quotes. It says, you have 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds to look out the window at a tree. When you sit in your car, you have 30 seconds to take a deep breath as your car is heating up. You have 30 seconds to notice the flowers. And you have 30 seconds to meditate. Even if you don't have a full minute or 5 minutes or 45, an hour, 20, whatever your sweet spot is, 2 hours a day, you do have time to reel it in for yourself. And while I like to meditate first thing in the morning, I also will sprinkle it in throughout the day if I haven't been intentional that morning about doing it. Because there are other things I like to do in the morning too. I like to journal. That helps to get the thoughts out of my head in front of the day. And I also like to sleep in. But I honestly feel like for me, when I meditate in the morning, it's an extension of my rest. So I don't know if it's a hack that I've retrained my mind on, but I think, okay, you can get out of the bed because you'll get to sit and meditate or lay down or stand up and meditate and just kind of extend the period of stillness. Oftentimes when we're hitting snooze anyway, we're not falling back asleep. We're just kind of waiting for the alarm to go off again. So instead of waiting, I'll get up, I will find a comfortable seat and extend that rest, but in stillness that just kind of channels the energy in a different way.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. We spend 7.5 hours or should sleeping, and then you wake up. Then it's like crazy. You got to get going. Blah, 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 blah. You just negated the fact of that peace that you just gave yourself by jumping out of bed and rushing. Imagine if you slowly ramp up by meditating. And maybe we should define what meditation is. Isn't it getting in touch with oneself?
It very much is getting in touch with oneself. And it can also, in my opinion, be what you need it to be. It can be as energizing or as calming as you need it to be. It can give you clarity. It can clear your mind. It provides stillness for yourself, a chance for you to connect your breath and your mind or your breath and your body to still your mind. That's how I see it. So it's giving yourself. We hear the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. Well, when you meditate, you're refilling your cup. You're literally thinking about no one, nothing else but yourself. And so even if thoughts cross your mind, you can bring your awareness back to your breath to tune in to yourself.
You bring up a great point in that you can just take 30 seconds. I'm taking a break. Be right back. And just get into that state. It does take time to quiet everything. And I talked to somebody who is a monk, and he at one point in his life, and I said to him, how long does it take to get into, a meditative state? Before I could even finish the sentence, he goes, 5 seconds. 5 seconds and you're there. He goes, yeah, sometimes a little bit less. I'm like, wow. And you're really in that zone? He goes, yeah, I'm there. I get there.
Well, it's a work in progress for people. So as a former monk, I can only imagine with envy the amount of Zen that he brought in to his orbit in those moments. During our last conversation, I mentioned to you that I grew up seeing my uncle meditate every morning before he went off to work. He was a school teacher for high school, like math at that. And I didn't understand it. I grew up feeling like it's probably something I should do, but I don't know how to do it. This day and age, you can Google anything and now you can chat GPT it. There is an entry point for you. It's just a matter of finding out what that is, what it looks like, when it's going to be. It doesn't have to be a set time of the day. It doesn't even have to be a set location in your home or in your office. It can be in your car, wherever you are, wherever you need it to be. But it might take some work, just like breath work. As you pointed out, it's work. It takes some practice. But once you get into it and find your way, it really can change your life. It really can bring about peace in the midst of chaos.
Do you need to be intentional when you meditate? By that, I mean, set an intention. Why am I going to do it? I need to get an answer. I'm trying to come up with something here. Now I'm going to meditate on it. Or do you just meditate? Just block everything else out. Or can it be a combination of both? Depends on what your goal is.
Absolutely. Either or and all of the above. For me, I love to meditate. Like this morning I mentioned I meditated. I guess I did have a goal in mind, and that was just to be at ease with the day to come. I've got deliverables and I want to be good for myself and for other people. I don't want to be led by the thoughts in my head buzzing all over the place. We think 60,000 thoughts a day is the stat, but we don't do 60,000 things a day. We're not activating on all those thoughts. So it behooves us to take that step back and just be. And that's how I see meditation. So this morning, while I did have a goal, it wasn't purpose driven. Like I gotta get on my meditation pillow so that my mind won't be everywhere today. But there are some days, some moments in life, seasons where I'm very much trying to figure something out. And actually, I'll share, meditation got me here to the Salt Sanctuary of Maryland. It was a season in my life where I needed to figure out my next chapter. I knew what I didn't want it to be. I knew what I wanted it to be, but I didn't know how to get there. And so I started meditating for an hour a day. And the first few days into it, in my meditation, the Salt Sanctuary of Maryland came to me. And so at that point in time, I had written out a strategic plan for my business, my yoga teaching business, Namastone Yoga. And I knew what it was on paper. I just needed to push forward. I needed to turn the page and start activating. And the Salt Sanctuary of Maryland was not in my strategic plan, but other aligned brands with Namastone, the stone of it all, were. So I thought, oh, wow, that's brilliant. I will reach out to the Salt Sanctuary of Maryland. Then I came out of my meditation thinking, okay, I'm going to activate because I was open and I've been given this jewel, this gift of an idea, but I don't have relationships there. Why would they respond to an email from me or a call from me offering to teach yoga there to hold space for their community? And then it hit me, well, you do have relationships there. The founder is a yoga student of yours. And the current owner, I had an email thread with her about a year ago. Can you find that thread? And long story short, I was finally able to find that thread. And I just replied to it. Hey, hope you've had a great year. This is who I am. This is what I'm thinking. I would love to hold space for your community to do yoga in the Salt Cave. If it's something you're interested in, if it goes well, let's do it often. If not, I appreciate, your openness to potentially try it out. And eventually she replied and said yes. And one conversation led to another. And that was in January of this year. By the end of May, I owned the business. Meditation, wow. Steve.
Wow. I got to get busy. I'll be back. I got work to do.
Well, we can do it together. Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in and this is pilots me. Everything I need is within me now. Everything I need is within me now. So any answer you need, you already know the answer. You do. Yeah. Anything that, choice A, choice B, what should I do? Well, all of it. You already know the answer. It's in you. You need to access it. How do you access it? Meditation is one of those ways.
You put that so beautifully. You have to get still enough to hear the voice within. And it's not the thoughts. It's beyond the thoughts. It's that divine, the Gaia, the universal voice, your ancestors, your God, whoever, whatever the creator, the source is for you. We need to get still, whether that's in meditation, in prayer, in conversation with your significant other, your parents, whomever, or no one at all. Because to your point, the answer is within us. We just need to trust ourselves and also be still enough to hear it, to hear and feel that guidance. It's there.
I was talking with somebody earlier today at the gym, and yeah, we're friends, and she's talking about a relationship she's in, and the pros, the cons, all of it. And I said, and she's trying to decide what to do. I'm like, you already know what to do. I said, as a matter of fact, back in June, you already said the answer. I don't know if you remember it. You said it. You already know. You knew how this was going to go. You even identified that this is not going to be a long-term thing. And now here you are wondering, well, he just told me other things about his life. And you already know the answer. And you said it. But I believe the challenge is trusting in yourself with the answer. A lot of us second guess it, and that therein lies our intuition and the gut feeling. So when you get something, a lot of us say, no, it can't be. Maybe we don't want to hear that answer, or maybe the answer is just too obvious and easy. So we complicate it by saying, it can't be that easy. Let me think about this more. And then you make the wrong choice, but it's there. It's there for the asking. But accessing it comes in the meditation and trust in yourself, faith.
Yeah, faith and stillness. A wise woman once told me, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
We'll show up. Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
And then they'll appear and you'll keep pushing them away because you have to be ready for it. And, telling yourself the truth, sometimes it's harder than telling other people the truth. Like, I pride myself on not lying. I tried it a long time ago in my life. It doesn't work out well for me. I figured that out growing up in my household. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work out for me. So I can't try to be devious and get one over on people because first of all, it doesn't feel good and it doesn't work out for me. I learned that early on. Yep. I don't lie to other people, but the amount of lies I tell myself throughout the years, like in hindsight, potentially even now, like That's why I journal in the morning. That's why I meditate, to get real with myself, to be honest, to
That's a good
have those
point.
honest conversations, to be still, to listen to the guidance and to feel it and then walk accordingly, act accordingly.
That's a really good point, because we can lie to ourselves in our head, but when it's on paper, on a screen, and it came from you, not so easy to lie to yourself.
No, it's going to come out.
If you're being honestly intentional in writing those things down, but a lot of times if you've taken that step to write things in a journal, you're going to be real about it. Might be a little tough in the beginning, to really kind of voice the, what about if somebody finds this? I don't want anybody to see it. But once you get past all of that, then it kind of just starts to flow out, and you see, that you get clarity. You get clarity.
You get clarity, and it's the same. So you could look at meditation as like your journal on a pillow, or you're still, I don't know what to call it. We'll come up with something clever, but it's so similar to journaling, because you're with yourself, and whatever comes up, it comes up, and you acknowledge it. And then you focus on your breath, and then something else may come up that you get to acknowledge, but you also get to focus on your breath again. And another stat, we take 20,000 breaths a day. My first yoga teachers taught me, and we barely notice, because we don't have to. It happens on its own. That's the beauty of the breath. But when we notice our breath, my gosh, the closer we get to our true selves. That's who we are. It's right there in our breath. So it's easy to say, but back to journaling, because this could be a whole other conversation. Another one of my yoga teachers, so I just finished a 300-hour advanced yoga teacher training with Heart Yoga. Wow. Out of Minneapolis and San Diego by way of Minneapolis. And one of our activities was called morning pages, and you can Google it. There's science behind morning pages, but what it is ideally when you first wake up, get out a journal or get out a page, like a college-bound notebook, and write. You set an alarm, you write for 15 minutes. You write whatever comes to your mind. Even if you're writing, I don't know what to write about, I don't feel like writing right now, you write for that whole 15 minutes, pen to paper, not in your phone.
Yep.
And at the end, you write affirmations. And you wait and see what comes up. I have always fancied myself on being this kind, nice person, but the amount of people I was like letting have it in my morning pages, I just didn't know it was all in there. Because I sweep it, And yes, the smile is genuine. I'm looking at you, I'm smiling at you. But we all have a zillion things going on in our lives. Something just irked us. We're annoyed by something someone did or didn't do. But those morning pages were so revealing. And talk about the clarity that has come through them as well. I did both this morning. I started with my morning pages and then I meditated. So I had a pretty clean slate today. And it's good things that come up, and it's problems I need to solve that come up. And back to your point, it's all within you. You have the answers. We just need to take the time to access them.
Would you say the morning pages is your journal? Your journaling? Is that really what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is. I was taught to get out like a regular, like 8x10 or whatever the size of a normal sheet of paper is, get a few of those out and aim to write like at least 3 pages within those 15 minutes. I have so many journals at home, so I pulled out a journal and dedicated it. I'm almost at the last few pages of that journal, and I started my morning pages about 3 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Just go to town.
I love what you said, all of this. But even if you have 15 minutes and you have to fill it and you have to be intentional again, you need to write. But I don't know what to write. Even writing that, is okay, because eventually that will cause you to write. You know?
Yeah, and it's whatever comes to mind, Steve, whatever. So it could be what you ate for dinner last night, the party you attended yesterday, and how it went differently than you thought it might have been, and the love that you feel, or how, whatever comes to mind, any and everything, your mom's upcoming birthday, your need to, whatever it is, go shopping, or to just solve a problem, or to talk about, to tell yourself the truth about something that's happening. That's really, that's what I have found out is the key to my journaling.
Well, they always say the truth always comes out. So eventually when you practice this, the truth will come out. And I don't know if I mentioned with the gratitude journal, I've been keeping one, and I write the date, I am grateful for, I write 3 things. And then I found a journal you can buy that has those feels, but it goes a little bit deeper. What's an affirmation for today? And then in the evening, what would have made today better? What was your act of kindness? All of that. I'm not exaggerating when I say hardcover, a journal like that, and tons of pages like that thing was $8 on Amazon.
Right.
$8. And there's a more expensive version. This is kind of the knockoff, more expensive version for like $26. But I compared the pages on Amazon. It's the same. And for $8, it's great.
Right.
It just holds your hand through the whole process. And instead of thinking what you're going to write, it's starting your topic. So you just finish it from there. I've done it for like 4 days now, and I was like, I find I'm writing more. I'm more in depth. Nothing wrong with writing, 3 things you're grateful for and putting the date on it, but this goes a little bit deeper. So there's stuff out there, like you say.
There's stuff out there, and you can create your own, a blank sheet of paper. You just gave the formula for it. But it does help to be in community and have that structured. And then you can, let me ask you, do you ever look back on the pages of your journaling, your gratitude?
That's the best part.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you learn about yourself, and also how maybe you've moved forward, where you take a look at, we go back a year, 2, 3, whatever, then what you were writing about, and now, and how you dealt with those things, how you processed it, how you might process it differently now. Yeah, it's super cool when you look back. I regret not keeping journals back in the day. And I remember I was going through a change in life, and this is, like 18 years ago. And somebody that I met was keeping a journal, and he was all about this back then. And I was like, whatever, I'm going to write stuff down. I wish I did. Because it'd be interesting seeing, looking at the journey. This is just a little piece of the spiritualism, the positivity within your sanctuary.
Yeah, it is. We do guided meditation here. I did one for an individual one day last week, and last month I actually had a group of 10 coworkers who came for their retreat. And they did a guided meditation along with a few other services here. And that guided meditation was focused on stress, relieving stress in the workplace. And it was team building because they were there breathing in the salty air, relaxing together and clearing out some room within themselves to start anew once they came out of the meditation. It's like every inhale is a chance to begin again, to renew, and every exhale is a chance to let something go. And they did all that together in the salt cave through a guided meditation that helped them realize how far they've come, how much they've accomplished, and also that it's okay to find that stillness, to just be and to be together. They don't have to rush at the end of the day to be apart, to be away from each other. They can find that peace of mind and that calm right there, whether they're together or by themselves, by just taking those deep breaths. And then they can turn the page and get back to their days, get back to those to-do lists. It's building a lifestyle. It's folding it in to the lifestyle we already have.
Beautiful. And I never thought of it as team building, instead of throwing a ball, doing this, doing that, physical activity, which is fine. This is so different. Wow. Didn't even know you did that. The website, if somebody wants to learn more, Salt Sanctuary MD, like Maryland, saltsanctuarymd.com. Is that right?
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Cool. La, thank you for today. Thanks for all the insight. You've inspired me to meditate. Just do it more, even if it's for 30 seconds.
Start somewhere.
Yeah.
Start now. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. We'll talk soon, okay? We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.